Washington.
This is Martin for here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Jim Artie 4 here once again. And if you hadn't got a chance to see the Washington Post video, Happy New Year, Happy 2017 to all my subscribers and those of you who watch. I hope everybody had a safe and wonderful holiday bringing into the new year. Let's make 2017 much better than 2016 because, as we know, 2016 was some bullshit. So, today we're going to talk about the Housewives. Now, I didn't get the chance to talk about the last episode of Housewives because I was out of town for the holidays. So I didn't get to talk about Phaedra and Candy's little spat. Ooh, Lord. Yeah. And I'm not even going to edit it out because this is real. So this was kind of like the episode, like the aftermath of that whole situation. And I know I've called other episodes like the petty episode, but this was like this type of petty was like high school playground type petty, like stuff that you wouldn't expect from people who are grown. Okay, so hold on. First, we were getting introduced to Laverne and Shirley. They're attached to Cynthia's chest. Okay, she wants to get some breast augmentation done. Now, apparently, she's already had some. And the doctor was in there telling her that one was harder than the other, which I guess is something that's common amongst breast augmentations. And I'm just like, look, if you got to do all these health risks and you got to worry about your titty getting turned into cement and possibly causing some type of cancer, like I just don't think the double D's are worth it. It just if you want to have bigger breasts, just get pregnant. This seems like pregnancy seems to always make people go up like a whole cup size because they get goals with the milk. So I don't know. It just seems like a more natural way as opposed to going to Dr. Miami or Dr. Kerr's to get some augmentation done that you really don't too much need, but to each his own choice. So as they're waiting before they go into the actual doctor's visit, you got Cynthia invited. Who was with her? Was it Sheree? I can't remember who the other lady was. Was it Ken? It was Kenya. Yes, it was Kenya. So you got Cynthia, Kenya, and Candy there waiting. And Candy's kind of wondering why she's here. Like, is she trying to throw some shade at me secretly, trying to say that my breasts don't look nice? But Cynthia said she invited all the girls, and she's like, even Phaedra? She's like, yeah. And then, of course, Candy has to go into the whole spiel about what her and Phaedra talked about. And she talked about how the thing with Apollo, how she was dating another man. Like, basically, this news about Phaedra and Mr. Chocolate and waiting for Apollo, couldn't wait for Apollo to leave, and how she planned on marrying somebody, I guess, at the top of this year. All this stuff, and Candy's just telling it to everybody, okay? And Cynthia, of course, not Cynthia, but Kenya's just getting her life. Like, she's just saying, this is my cup runneth over, all this spilling hot tea. And here's another thing. I noticed that this is one of the very few times, where there's a lot of central drama within the group that Kenya has nothing to do with. This is the first. Like, usually, even if she's not directly, Kenya is involved in the drama in some sort of way. Either she's egging it on, she started it, or she's finishing it. Usually she is a part of it somehow, but this time, at least when it comes to this, she has the whole Matt drama, but that's still like subpar to what this whole Phaedra and Candy thing got going on. And I just think it's just interesting how she's not the main source of drama this time. It's kind of refreshing. It gives us something else to talk about, But she's telling all this information. Of course, Cynthia and Kenya are loving it. And let's see, how do I want to turn these chain of events? Because the way that the show do it, they kind of bounce all around. I guess before we get the smaller stuff out the way, when Candy and Riley and their relationship with the baby daddy. I think I may have mentioned this before in a previous episode, but Candy's thing about, she's 14 now, like she's old enough to have her own relationship with her dad and not necessarily have to involve anything to do with me. Um, Granted, on one end, that might be true, but the thing is, when I wish I could, well, I don't know if I wish I could relate, because I don't, necessarily want those kind of problems, but I can only imagine what it would be like to not know a parent. Like somebody who's supposed to be an integral part of your life is a stranger to you. So when it comes to meeting the person, and I guess if the person wants to become part of your life, it's really kind of like meeting a stranger. So yes, I'm old enough to have a relationship, but it's still in my mind, it's still a stranger. And I thought it was interesting how when they asked, I forget her name, Todd's daughter. And another thing about Todd's daughter, I'm gonna need y'all to get these po babies' wigs together if they're gonna be on camera. Okay, let's just get that together, please, because it's not fair that all the cast members' hair be popping. Well, most times they hair be popping, and the supporting cast members, especially the babies, is out here looking a mess. That's not cool. Anyways, they asked her like, what did she think about, or how was it meeting Todd? After what was she like? I forget how old she was, but she was relatively older. And she was like, well, at first it was kind of strange because she was a stranger, but eventually I got used to it. And it's important if you come with her because then she'll feel like comfortable since she's comfortable around you. And I feel like that's a good idea because, I mean, you don't even really know Block all that well. Like you don't even know what he's gonna do with your child. Like I feel like he might do something crazy half the time. I don't know. So I'm glad that they're trying to work on getting a relationship going with them and whatnot. So I think I want to go ahead and get right into the mess because real quick, did y'all see Mama Joyce do the dab? And it looked like she was doing some Egyptian shit. Like she was doing the Michael Jackson Thriller and shit. I was like, why is her hands looking like this? You supposed to go down here, bitch. Why if Mama Joyce's hands was going on like, you know what? Rewind it. For those of y'all who have it on DVR, go and watch that again and tell me she don't look like she's doing the Thriller dance. I'm just saying. Anyways, so moving on with the drama. Portia, who else? Who was with her? Shamia. And who came? No. Phaedra didn't come. They saw her later. Sheree. There we go. Portia, Shamia, and Sheree went to this. I don't even know what that thing was called again. They said it a couple times, but the little egg that you put up your pocketbook, and I guess it's supposed to act as a. I don't even know what name to give it. It's supposed to assist in strengthening the muscles along your walls. Yeah. I think that's as good as a description as we're going to get. So, is that a thing? Is that a concern? Well, I guess people want tight, but there's an exercise. I don't know. I don't have one. I don't know the trials and tribulations that come with having one. I just have never heard of such a thing. But anyway, they're doing this whole class, and after this thing is over, Sheree being messy, because Sheree had a conversation with Candy, and she talks about, she spreads the whole Apollo, Phaedra, marrying somebody at the top of the year drama over to Sheree, and Sheree spills it over to Portia and Shamia. Now, Portia feels a way about this. Apparently, because, Sheree and Portia are really, really close, and Portia feels like it's not cool that even though Candy and Phaedra are feuding right now, they were once really, close friends. And somebody, like, people can hear stuff and say stuff and spread rumors about whomever all the time. But when a rumor comes from somebody who they know is a trusted source of that person, like a best friend, like it's going to be believable and it's going to be damaging to that person's character. So Portia felt like it was, it's kind of messed up how that personal information that really probably only you would know or somebody else that was close to her would know. It's kind of messed up that left that space, or it left between the two of you. Like, it was kind of shady how you're going spilling all this information to everybody else, and everybody else includes us who watch. And not only that, Shamia tags in and says that, well, Phaedra also was trying to get at my husband, because whenever he would come around, like, she would be tooting her booty and all this other stuff. And it just got really, really ugly. So we moved to, who was it? It was Phaedra, Portia, and Sheree. And so they're coming in, they're telling all the stuff that Candy's been saying. And of course, Phaedra's trying to say that's not true, this, that, and the fourth. And then Phaedra drops the bomb and says, you know how close Candy is with Shamia? They've been, scissoring back and forth. So now it's like a undercover rumor that Candy may be in the closet. I'm like, okay, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, it's not impossible, but I just don't. It seems like for her to, be sleeping around with the woman just randomly, it seems a little bit of a stretch. It's almost like you reaching, Phaedra. You reaching, and I was talking to my friend about it. He says, well, maybe her and Todd are swingers. I'm like, I don't really see Todd as being a swinger. He seems like once I got my wife, I don't really want to do too much with anybody else type of guy. I could be wrong, but I just don't see that being true. That feels like speculation. And it seemed like she just kind of wanted something to throw back at Candy, since she's throwing all this other stuff at her. And one thing I can respect Portia about is that Portia said, okay, I'm having this issue with Candy, and we're sitting here, we're talking all this stuff about her. I don't want to be fake and coming around her and acting like everything's all cool. So I'm going to sit down with Candy and, tell her how I feel about what's been going on. So they start talking, and basically when they get down to the nitty gritty, Candy starts getting real defensive, saying that, Phaedra been trying to pull these games. She's been fake. She'll go around acting one way around somebody else, but then somebody else, she'll tell a whole different story. And, Portia was like, well, trying to defend her, and says that, well, you're going around, I feel like what you said should have been between you two, and this, that, and the fourth. And Candy was like, well, listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all think making it seem like Phaedra is a goody two-shoes, and I'm just the only one going around here spreading all this dirt about her, and she hadn't done nothing to me. Like, she was saying all kind of stuff about my husband. She was, saying all this kind of stuff about me, and, because, Phaedra's real slick in them out. Phaedra is shady. One of the shadiest ladies on this show, okay? And she was talking about how she's messing with money, how she's messing with her money. And Candy is serious about her money. Candy loves to make a coin, okay? So she's like, once you messing with my man and my money? Oh, no. I'm through with you at this point. And now she's starting to do all this back and forth and not mess. This is about to be a good reunion. I feel like this is going to be a very good reunion. But yeah, I think I've covered all of the happenings of the episode. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Like, do y'all like if there are sides, who are you more so siding on? Are you siding more with Candy? Do you feel like the things that they talked about weren't necessarily secret? Because apparently Candy was acting like people already knew. Okay? And she's coming at Portia like, Portia, you knew. Like, all this stuff that I'm telling you about the husband and the sleeping around and wanting to get remarried, as close as y'all are, you knew. They said that they talked about it. That Portia took the picture of what Apollo was pulling out them text messages about in regard to Mr. Chocolate. She said Portia took that picture. So she knows. And people don't know if Portia just playing dumb or is she really dumb. And I mean, usually when people put that kind of comparison, usually, they're probably just playing dumb. But in this case, you don't know, because Portia has said some questionable things in the past on this show to make me believe that she really just might not know. Honest to God. But I just feel like this whole thing is unnecessary. I mean, if you just can't reconcile and be friends, then just leave it alone. Because apparently y'all had too big of an issue with each other, and it's just a mess. One thing I will give Phaedra's side is I felt like Candy, where you went wrong, and I think I said this on the last time, was in regards to that taste testing thing. Like, you should have checked your mom to be sitting up here saying somebody else is gonna keep blowing me the fuck up. Like, she said that like 3 or 4 times, and you just let her go at the mouth then. But yet, when she pulled me to the side and was about to say something, then you felt like you could get up and stop her. So that means that if you wanted to stop her from saying all that stuff before, you could have, but you chose not to for, your own special reasons. But thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year. I hope we can pedal this on to the new year and grow the channel and all these things of that nature. So make sure you guys like and thumbs up the video. Do the little bell, because apparently YouTube is doing something funky with their algorithm and notification and subscriptions. So make sure you guys click the little bell over in the corner. I'm not sure where it is on the page, but click the little thing that looks like a bell, and that will give you notifications whenever I upload, so you can be, one of the first to see it, or just be able to see it and make sure that you don't miss it in your subscriptions box. So thank you guys so much for watching and liking and subscribing. Share with all your friends across social media. Follow me on my social media at Jamar84 if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Jamar, Washington, Washington, Washington.